Okay, so as promised, I wanted to do makeup videos and tutorials just for fun. I'm not selling anything. Maybe down the line, that might be something that might be a possibility, but for right now, it's just strictly for fun. I am gonna fix the quality here. There we go. Okay. So I just wanted to show my everyday pretty much look. The only difference is if I have a little bit of time, I might put on false eyelashes. And I'm really terrible at those because I normally don't ever wear those. So I'm gonna clip my bangs back a little bit. So I normally always start off with a face mist. Right now I'm currently using White Tea Witch Hazel, and I got this from TJ Maxx, but normally I use Tea Tree from Lush, and I really like it. It's only $10 and it's natural, environmentally safe, packaging, all that jazz. But for right now, I'm using this. It's supposed to balance out redness. I see a little bit of difference, not a huge amount, and normally I do it right when I'm out of the shower, but I wanted to do it like this today. And then I just I like to dry it pretty quickly if I'm not just getting it on after the shower. So I just use, this is seriously just from one of my makeup boxes. Okay, and so then I use, I have oily skin, but it also gets really dried out really fast. So I always use Origins Original Skin Matte Moisturizer with Willow Herb. It's a little costly. I get this at Ulta or Sephora. It's about $34, $36. It lasts a really long time. A little amount goes a long way, but it's also a good moisturizer, and I use it as a primer because it's matte. So I'll just kind of tap that around. And then I'll use Aveeno on my neck, but I don't have that ready, so. So my second product that I use is a pore reducer. I have several different types that I use. If I'm wanting to be a little on the cheaper side, I use Maybelline Baby Skin. That's just, I bought my last one for only $3. So it wasn't anything costly. The one that I'm really fond of is this one from Touch in Sol. It's No Pore Problem. I don't really know how to say that correctly, but in this it came out to be less than $20, and I really like this. And I use just a small amount. I use it across my forehead, over my nose, on my chin, and across my cheekbones. So I use it probably in a little bit more spots than most people. When my eyes feel a little dry, I use Perfectly Posh Prize on the Eyes, and I do have a friend who sells this, if anyone's interested in that. And again, a little amount goes a long way with this. Just kind of gently. Because I use a lot of eye makeup more than I do anything else. I like to keep around my eyes hydrated to lessen the risk of getting wrinkles. So I switch my foundation all the time. I'm not really set on just one liquid foundation or one powder foundation. I always felt like when I would stick to one, my skin would get used to it, and I would start experiencing breakouts, or it just wasn't giving me the coverage that I liked. So I constantly switch my foundations. So for right now, I'm using Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. It's a water foundation, and I'm using light medium sand, which is just a touch too dark for me, but it ends up working out just fine. The only complaint I have about this is the plunger is a little cumbersome to use. And I really like foundations that you can kind of just drip onto your face. I am going to use a mirror off to the side here just to make sure I'm getting it in all the spots. And I don't put foundation down my neck. I just kind of try to blend it down just because it's a little cumbersome to get it all the way down your neck. And I just try to blend it, especially with powder foundation. So I like matte. Sorry, the camera keeps going in and out of focus. I think I'm throwing it off. I like a matte look, so sometimes people stop at this step and then go on to blush and everything else. I like to be matte and not shiny. Right now, again, I switch around my powder foundations, but I use Kat Von D, and this one is a medium 53, and I really like it. A lot of people, I've read reviews that they complain it's too heavy, but I like it because it's full coverage. Cheek stuff is Cheek Parade. I don't contour. I'm not very good at it. I haven't really played around with it too much. I can see if maybe anybody's interested in that. I've only messed around with it a little bit. The extent of my contouring is I take Hoola Light, which is like this light sandy color, and I kind of go a little under where I would put my blush. So I kind of just go a little under. It's a little hard to tell on the camera if it's all blended in well, but looks to be. Now I love blush, and I like bright colored blushes and everything like that. So I use, sorry, this is like the worst. I've practiced trying to do videos here, and this one was the worst clarity going in and out, but it was the one with the best picture, I should say, and the most memory. So I had to use what I had. I use California, which is right up here. It's a little brighter. And I do that on the apples of my cheek. Some people do it down here where I put that bronzer color. And I love, 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 love blush, so I always have rosy cheeks. And I do a little on the bridge of my nose. Okay, so if you ever notice like your blush doesn't blend really well with the rest of your face, you can just take your powder foundation brush, because there's probably not a lot of powder on it left, but it just enough to kind of take those harsh edges away. And you can kind of do it up here as well. And then I'll do it right through here. That way it's not so blunt. Your edges aren't coming to an abrupt stop. It's kind of like fading in. The same with the bright color down to the darker color, and it's supposed to draw your face in and make you look a little thinner. Hopefully, maybe. Everybody wants that, right? So I use a couple different eyebrow stuff. I always try to keep the shape of my eyebrow. I don't do the big square looking brows. I like mine to look the same shape that I have. So there's two different eyebrow products that I've found to work the absolute best. One is Benefit Precise Brow or Goof Proof. I'm sorry, Goof Proof is the best one, I think. And it's just, it looks like a pencil, and you just draw it right on, and it even has a little brush at the end, so you can kind of fan out your eyebrows. Another one that is a lot cheaper, and the route that I use day to day, is this e.l.f. little bottle here, and I use it in the dark color, and I have had it forever, and I am finally at the bottom, and I've been at the bottom forever, it feels like, and I'm still getting a lot of color out of it. So what I do is I take a e.l.f. eyeliner brush, and I just dab in there, and I make sure my brush doesn't have like crazy flyaways on it, and then I just go the shape of my eyebrow. You can totally change the shape of your eyebrow, make them bigger. A lot of times I find too, I can go a little longer without plucking my eyebrows by filling them in. But eventually you just realize, like, okay, well, my eyebrows are getting really bushy here. So, let's see. So, no filling. It just kind of cleans up the edges and makes it a little bit of a natural look. Just so you can fully see the benefit of filling in the eyebrows. The next thing I do to set it so that you're not, like, if you touch your eyebrows, it doesn't get on your hands or get like smeared all over, is I set it with NYX eyebrow cake powder. You get two different colors, which I really don't understand, but I use this really dark color here, and I just take a little bit of the powder and I just go through and just set it this way. It doesn't smear around. You can touch your face. And then I just take a e.l.f. Mascara brush, and I just brush it so they don't look hard and cakey. So, beginning, end. I mean, it definitely opens up your eyes a lot more and makes it more widening and awakening, I guess. So let's do the second one. Okay, so I kind of messed up in the one spot here, and I use makeup towels a lot. There. Okay, and I bought those. I think it came in a 2-pack, and I bought those from TJ Maxx as well, but you can get them in all sorts of different areas, and I keep one in my bathtub for just every day. So I have two different types of eyeshadow primers. One is Smashbox, and this is in a nude color. I use this one for more nude colors that I'm putting on my eyes. I don't really want them super vibrant. I'm not extremely thrilled with this. I like it, but for the price, I was expecting a lot more, because Smashbox is really expensive, and I've used their primers before with very little, payout. I found cheaper that worked a lot better. So I'm just using this because I wanted to finish it off before it goes dry. However, my favorite is NYX, and NYX is it's kind of like in the middle ground. in the middle between a drugstore and a high quality. So it's like smack dab in the middle, really good price range, and you get a lot of high quality items. This one is in white, and so it makes your eyes really vibrant. So I use this a lot of times if I want to make the eyeshadow stand out and be more bold. Like if you're doing a green or something, this would be the kind to use. The only thing is you have to like scoop it out with your finger and kind of pat it in. So you got to be really careful that you're not being too aggressive, because you don't want to pull too much at your skin. And I'm going to look at, once the Smashbox one is gone, I'm going to get one in nude, so that way I can do both sides again. So I'm going to do the white one just to show. And it gets a little messy, and you're not technically supposed to use your index finger for makeups, because it's just a little too, you have too much pressure in your index finger. So you gotta try to blend a little bit with like your middle or your ring finger. And it's okay if you get a little down there. It really wipes off really nicely with no mess up to your foundation. So like that. Okay. And I just go ahead and I do both sides. I don't do one side of eyeshadow and then the other. I just try to do everything at the same time. And it's kind of hard resting my arm on the table though, doing this. Okay. All right, so that's all that on there. I did kind of, oh, that made me look right. Okay, so I did sign up for BoxyCharm, which is $21 per month, not including tax. And so I did get a whole lot of products from them, and I've been using a couple of the products. The brushes I used yesterday for the first time, and I really liked them. They're a brand called Luxie, and they were retailed at, let me grab this thing before I say wrong pricing. They were valued at $21, which I thought was actually a pretty good deal. The palette that I'm using is Ace Beauty. I never heard of them before, but the eyeshadow palette is very bold and beautiful. I used this color, these two colors yesterday as like towards the inner corners, and then this one on the outer corners. This one was retailed at $24. So you've already got your money's worth on it, and it's not, because you know, sometimes you're like, are they really truly valued at that? You know, is that a true thing? You know, because some of these products you'd never heard of, or at least I haven't heard of. But one thing that was in the box that I have heard of, and I've seen a lot of people using, is Cover FX. And I think that's FX. I don't know if it's Fix. Maybe it is, but it looks like FX. And this is glitter drops, and these are retailed at $44, which is true. It's at Ulta and Sephora for $44. Well, I don't think Ulta sells this. Could be wrong. I'm not a huge Ulta fan, just to let you guys know. Like, I go there sometimes just for certain items, but 9 times out of 10 I go to Sephora. I traveled the extra distance to go to Sephora, but now they have one in Jackson, which is really nice. Let me get my brushes out here. Okay. So my only complaint was my one brush had a little bit of flyaways over here. As you can see, I already have a little bit of the color on it, but it was okay. It didn't really affect my makeup at all yesterday putting it on, and I could probably just get it wet and back to new. So I'm going to use Rose, which is this really bright pink color, and I'm gonna, for the sake of time, I'm gonna go over here. And the only thing with primers is you need to kind of work fast. Like I wasn't working quite as fast as I should have, so it kind of created creases. So I do one color at a time. So like I'll stop and then I'll finish with another color. But that way my brush doesn't get a whole bunch of different colors and my eyes don't match one another. I've done it both ways, and this was the way that worked best for me, because a lot of times what will end up happening is you spend a lot of time on this side and then you're like, oh, I'm over it on this, you know, you come over to that side. So let's see here. I just try to stop about the same spot and the same darkness on both eyes. Okay. So super pigmented, that's for sure. And the NYX helps because without it, it's like that. So not as pigmented. I'm going in with this Myrtle color over here, which is kind of a coppery color. I tend to use the same brushes. I mean, a lot of times people switch around with eyeshadow brushes. I honestly, before I got this set, I've been using, I have a favorite eyeshadow brush that I got from an Urban Decay makeup set, and it was my favorite, but I'm really digging these brushes. Okay. So they don't really blend color-wise. That's okay. I got a blending brush here. And I'm going to take this color Jasmine, which is a light kind of shimmery color. Let's see if we can get it to shimmer. It's not as shimmery as this one, but it does have a little shimmer. Fortunately, I can't really see it too well. There, like that. And I'm gonna kind of go in the center between the colors and try to blend all these colors a little better together. And to kind of soften the harsh edges of the eyeshadow. So on the camera, it's actually a little more bold than what it is in person, as you can kind of see it. But I think it looks nice. I like bold colors. So let me kind of clean up here. I'm trying to keep all these brushes together. This makes it a little easier. I do like the little baggie it came in. So my signature thing, as many people know, is my wings. I love cat eyes. I have small eyes. They broaden up my eyes and make it just, my eyes pop a little bit more. So I have two eyeliners that work for me. Like I said, have oily skin. I use primers and everything, but generally eyeliners will melt away on me. Two that I feel or found that hold up the best, and the labels are kind of worn off because I twist them off. Telescopic from L'Oreal is kind of a dupe for me. It does melt a little in the corners after a really long day, so I tend to stray from this one just a teensy bit. But I like this one. It's a really good entry level one to start with. It's easy to apply because of the brush is this kind of shape. So you get a little bit more to hold on to kind of glide. My favorite is Kat Von D. It's not much more. This is like $11, $12, and this is like 15 to 20. So it's not much more. They last just the same amount. I'm gonna try to clear up this picture again. There we go. I don't know why I keep doing that. So for me, I have to use a mirror, or else it's just not gonna turn out. Okay, so first step, because I'm going to do this in kind of steps. I can't really slow it down too much because I've tried that before and I end up messing up my own self. So my first step that I do is I just line my lid, and I'll go back through and straighten out edges after I get the wing on. So I just go through the lid, and then you go off of the bottom of your eyelid. You go up, like you're drawing a line towards your eyebrow, and then you just swoop it back down and connect it to the line over here. That's why some people have really petite lines and some people have wider lines, just based upon that curve that you're doing for your own eye. Which, do one eye at a time, then judge, because sometimes your eyes aren't exactly stopping at the same level. So you need to make sure you're making them even though your eyes may not be exactly even themselves. So okay, see? And then this eyeliner is getting close to dying. Then you swoop it back down. Grab the other one. See if it has a little bit more color in it. Swoop it back down, and then you just color in. Actually, I think the other one had more. I have a new one. I just don't really want to get it out just yet. So there's one wing. I'll let it dry before I fully open my eye, but that is to the swoop of my own eye. So then you just you have to kind of just look every now and then. Okay. And there's the second one. So because I'm kind of looking off center, but here I'll try to straighten on. They look even. And sometimes if they're not exactly the same, just kind of eye it up. See if like, okay, this one looks just a teensy bit thinner. Just don't go crazy. Because then everybody will look like Amy Winehouse. Another tip, if they don't look exactly even, take a pencil liner on the bottom. Do not pull on your eyes. Don't pull to make the wings. For one, your eyelids, you're going to get wrinkles. Two, when it snaps back, it's going to kind of bunch. So really try not to pull on your eyes too much. It just isn't beneficial. So this is another product I got in that BoxyCharm. This is a, I think it's Jean Bleu or something like that. Jean Bleu. It's a glittering star eyeliner in some black. It just has a little bit of glitter, which is really nice. I use it on the inner eye and kind of smudge it down. This is something else that will make your eyeliner look even. So I don't go all the way into the creases of my eyes, just because when you get sleepies and things like that, it's just going to goop up more in that crease. But this also helps people when they're looking at you. They're not so drawn to exactly your wings, and it'll help distract with the little imperfections of your eyes. So there's that one. I have two different types of mascaras that I'm using right now. And I use their Real as a primer. They have a primer, which is really fantastic. I would highly suggest the primer. Mascara, the brush is a little too like rough for my likings. And I accidentally bought the wrong Tarte mascara. I had a sample and it was Lights Camera Lashes. I accidentally bought Lights Camera Splashes. It's in the same tube color too, so it kind of threw me off. I would think that they would put it in a blue one for splashes, like water. But anyway, it's nice. It still works. I'm not going to put lashes on today just to save time, because I'm really slow at it. But I will do a video of that because I need practice on that too. So I use their Real as a primer. I just kind of go through and, again, one eye at a time. Oh, and also if you get some eyeshadow down here on your cheekbones, don't worry about it. Just hit it again with the little powder brush. I always do my foundation first. I can't do my foundation around my eye makeup. I would mess up my wings and it just wouldn't be easy for me. Okay, so before that fully dries, it makes it hard to work in another mascara. I'll grab my Tarte mascara. I don't use an eyelash curler very often, mainly for time. Two, I'm always afraid of using it after mascara. You're supposed to use it before mascara, but I really never saw a difference unless I used it after, and I've seen horror videos of people actually ripping off their eyelashes because they used the eyelash curler after mascara and then dried to it a little fast. So one eye with it, one eye in without it. It makes a pretty good difference. I have left the house without having mascara on, and I will get somewhere and I'm like, man, I just don't look right. Something just doesn't, and you can't like put your finger on it right away, and then you're like, oh gosh. When you're so used to seeing yourself one way to another. And one part of the eyelashes that people generally forget to do is right through here, which will help darken the areas where your wings are going to be pointing out. So always just take your brush and kind of go this way and have your top eyelashes and your bottom eyelashes where they come together kind of meet, and it kind of just brings in that almond shape and really softens and kind of just blends right into each other. So there's that. There's my makeup look. Now I am going to pick out actually first, I'm going to do these little glitter drops. They're really quick. I don't use very much because, like I said earlier, I like to have a matte finish to me. So just a couple drops. And then I blend as much as I can with my fingers, and then I take my blush brush and I kind of just blend it in with my blush. I think I might have put a little more on this side. No, they're about even. I do see some people putting a little dab on the end of their nose. I don't have a cute button nose, so I don't do that. But I have put this on my collarbones, and it kind of makes you really glittery. I don't know what type of top I'm wearing today, but I will do just a little line. I'm trying not to get my hair or my robe in it. But they are totally glitter drops. They're not like the highlighters. So kind of just, and I don't know if you can kind of see it. Kind of not. But you can see it all over my hand. Okay. So now onto lipstick. Now that I gotta wash my hands, I am gonna hold my phone just for a second because I actually had to use my, this is my, not even all of my lipsticks and glosses, but this is my bag and I was using it as, to hold down the camera. I think I'm gonna go this route. This is a more, it's supposed to be matte and it's Kat Von D. And this is in the color Mother. I'm not a huge fan with how it feels, so I'll sometimes put chapstick over top of it just because it kind of cracks into my lips. I try to stay within, that's really bright, within my lips. And if you ever wanted to kind of darken a color from being too bright, just take a little bit of a darker color and just kind of pat, and it makes it a little bit more subtle. Final step, Urban Decay, and I use All Nighter setting spray. This is my favorite. I've used Wet n Wild, I've used all sorts of others. This is by far my favorite. It doesn't leave a heavy feel. And again, I take that little cardboard piece again. So I've seen and read about, you put on a setting spray and then quickly dry it, and it's supposed to make your makeup stay on longer, because the idea is you're taking it from one extreme to another quickly, so it's going to set faster. I don't know how true it is, but I like to dry it just for the fact of it feels like my makeup's going to be melting on down. So there's that. And there is the final look.